Chapter 7 Human Health and Disease. Health for a long time was considered a state of body and mind where there was balance of certain humerus. This was early Greek like Hippocrates as well as the Indian Ayurveda system of medicine asserted it was throughout the that person with vague bile belonged to the herd personality and would have fevers. This idea was arrived at pure reflective thoughts. This discovery of blood circulation by William and Henry experiment using method and demonstrated the normal body temperature. Person with back bile using the thermometers disproved good humor's hypothesis of health. In later year biology state that mind influences throughout the neural system, endocrine system, or immune system, and that our immune system maintains our health. Hence, mind and mental state can affect our health. Of course, health is affected by genetic disorder, deficiency, with which child born deficiency defect with child inherit from parents to from birth. Second, infection. And third, lifestyle including food, water we take, rest and exercise we give to our bodies, habit that we have our leg act. The term of health is very frequently used by the everybody. How do we define health? Do not simply means absence of disease or physical fitness. It could be defined as state of complete physical and mental and social well-being. When people are healthy, they are more efficiency at work. This increases productivity and bring economic properties. Health also increase longevity of peoples and reduce the infant and maternal mortalities. Balanced diet, personal hygiene, and regular exercise are very important to maintain good health. Yoga has been participated since immemorial to achieve physical and mental health. Awareness about disease and their effect on different bodily functions, vaccination, immunization against infection disease, proper disposable wastage, control of factors, and maintenance of hygiene in food and water resource are necessary for achieving good health. When the function of one or more organs or system of body is adversely affected, characteristics by the appearance of various signs, symptoms, we say that we are not healthy. We have disease. Disease can be broadly grouped infection, non-infections, disease, which are easily transmitted from one person to another, are called infection disease. Infection diseases are very common and every one of the use suffer from this sometime or other. Some of the infection disease like AIDS are fatal. Among the non-infection disease like cancer, major cause of death. Drug and alcohol abuse are also affect our health adversely. Common disease in humans. A wide range of the organisms belonging to the bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoans, helminthes, act. Cool cause disease in man, such as disease causing organism called pathogens. Most of the parasites are therefore pathogen as they cause harm to hosts by living in or on them. The pathogens can be enter our body by various means, multiply the interferes with normal vital activities, resulting in morphological and functional damage. Pathogen we have to adapt to life within the environment of the host. For example, pathogens enter gut must know a way of surviving stomachs at low pH, resting various digestive enzymes. A few representative members from different group of pathogenic organisms are discussed here along with the disease caused by them. Preventative and control measures against the disease is general are also briefly described. Salmonella typhi, pathogenic bacterium, causes typhoid fever in human beings. This pathogenic generally enter through small intestine, through food and water contaminated with them, migrate other organs, through blood. Sustain high fever 39 to 14 degrees Celsius, weakness, stomach pain, constipation, headaches, and loss appetitis are some of the common symptoms of disease. Intestinal perforations and death may occur in some cases. Typhoid fever could be confirmed by Vidal test, a classic case in medicine that of Maria Melon nicknamed Typhoid Mary is worth mentioning here. She was cook by profession and was typhoid carrier who contaminated to spread typhoid for several years throughout the food spread. नेक्स्ट बैक्टीरिया है बैक्टीरिया लाइक स्ट्रेप्टोकोकस न्यूमोनिया हेमोफिलस इन्फ्लुएंजा responsible for pneumonia in human which infected the alveolar air sac of lungs. As a result of the infection, the alveoli get filled with fluid leading to the severe problems in respiration. The symptoms of pneumonia including fever, chilly, cough, headache. In several cases, lip and fingernails may be turned gray to blues in color. A healthy person acquired the infection by the inhaling droplet aerosols released by infected person, even sharing glasses utensils with the infected person. Dysentery, plague, diarrhea are some of the others bacterial disease in men. Many viruses alone also cause disease in human being. Rhinovirus represented the one of such a group of virus which cause one of the most infections human elements common cold. They infect host and respiratory passes but not lungs. The common cold is characterized by the nasal congestion and discharge, throat and hoarseness, cough and headache. Redness, which is usually last 3 to 7 days, droplet resulting from the cough, sneeze, infected person are then inhaled directly or transmitted through the contaminated object such as pen, book, cups, drop note, computer keyboards or mouse. It and cause infection in a healthy person. Some of the human diseases like protozoans have heard about malaria, a disease man has been fighting since many years. Plasmodium, a tiny protozoan, is responsible for disease. Different species Plasmodium P. vivax, P. malaria, P. falciparum are the responsible for different type of malaria. Of this malignant malaria caused by Plasmodium falciparum is the most of the serious one of can even be fatal. Let us take a glance at the life cycle of Plasmodium. Plasmodium enters the human body as parasite infection from throughout the bite of infected female Anopheles mosquitoes. The parasite initially multiply within the liver cell and attack red blood cell RBC, resulting in their ruptures. Rupture of RBC is associated with releases of toxic substance hemogens, which is responsible for chilly and high fever, recurring every 3 to 4 days. When female Anopheles mosquito bite infected person, this parasite enter the mosquito's body, undergo further development. The parasite multiply within them to sporocytes that are stored their salivary glands. When this mosquito bite in a human, the sporocytes are introduced into his her body, thereby enabling the event mentioned above. To note that malarial parasite require two hosts, human and mosquito, to complete its life cycle. The female Anopheles mosquito is vector transmitted against. Next, Entema stylica is protozoan parasite in the large intestines of humans, which cause embassic dysentery. Symptoms of this disease cause including constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, stool, which excess mucus and blood clot. Houseflies act as mechanism carrier and cells to transmitted parasite from feces of infected person to food and food products, thereby the contaminating them. Drinking water, food contaminated by the fecal matters, main source of the infections. Ascaris, common roundworm, and Vaucheria. The filarial worm are some of the helminthes which are the known as to be pathogenic to man. Ascaris, intestinal parasite cause ascarisis. Symptoms of this disease including the internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, and blockage of the intestinal process. The egg of the parasite are extracted along with the feces of infected person which contaminated soil, water, plant. A healthy person acquire this infection through contaminated water, vegetable and fruits. Vaucheria W. Brancti and W. mellili. The filarial worms cause slowly developing chronic inflammation of organs which they live for many years, usually lymphatic vessels of the lower limb, and the disease is called elephantiasis or filariasis. The genital organs also often affect, resulting the gross deformity. The pathogens are transmitted to healthy person through the bite by female mosquito vector. Many fungi belong to the genera like microsporums, trichophytans, epidermophytans are of the responsible for ringworms, which is one of the most common infection diseases in men. Appearance of dry scaly lesions on various part of the body such as skin, nails and scalp. The main symptom of disease, these lesions accumulated instant itching, heat and moisture help this fungi to grow, which make them thrive. Skin folds such as those growing or between toes. Ringworms are generally acquired for the soils by using towels, cloth, or even the combs and infected individuals. Maintenance of personal hygiene and public hygiene is very important. Prevention and control many infection disease measure for personal hygiene including keeping body men clean, consumptions of clean drinking water, food, vegetable, fruit, acts public hygiene including proper disposal of the wasted and etc. Periodic cleaning and disinfections of water reservoirs, pools, case pools and tank observing standard practices of hygiene in public caterings. These measures are particularly essential where the infection again transmitted through the food and water such as typhoid, embasis, ascariasis. In case of airborne disease such as pneumonia and common cold, and in addition to the above measure close contact with the infected person or their belonging to the should be the avoided for disease such as malaria and filariasis that are transmitted through the insect vector. Most of the important measure to control or eliminated the vectors their breeding place. This can be achieved by the avoiding standing of water around the residential areas, regular cleaning of the household colors, use of the mosquito net, introducing files, fishes like gambusia in pond and feed mosquito larvae, spraying insecticides, districts and draining areas and swim. In addition, door windows should be the prevented wire mesh prevented entry mosquitoes such as preventions have become more important especially in the light of recent widespread including the vector borne Aedes mosquito disease like dengue, chikungunya in many parts of India. The advancement of made in biological science have are made used to the effectively deals with the many infection disease. The use of vaccines, immunization programs have enabled use of completely erected a deadly disease like smallpox. A large number of the infection disease like polio, diphtheria, pneumonia, and tetanus have been controlled to a large extent by the use of vaccines. Biotechnology about you will immunity. Every day we are exposed to a large number of infection against. However, only a few of these exposed result in disease. Why? This is due to the fact that body is able to defend itself from most of these foreign against. This availability of this host to fight the disease causing organism conferred by immune system is called immunity. Immunity is of two types: innate immunity, acquired immunity. Innate immunity is non-specific type of defense that is present at the time of birth. This is accomplished by the providing different type of barriers to the entry of the foreign agents into our body. Innate immunity consists of the four type of barriers: physical barrier, skin our body, main barrier which is prevent entry of microorganism, mucus containing of the epithelium lining, respiratory, gastrointestinal and urogenital tract, also helping trapping microbes entering our body. Second, physiological barrier, acid in the stomach, saliva in the mouth, tears from eyes, all prevent microbial growth. Third, cellular barriers. Certain type of leukocyte WBC of our body like leukocytes, PMNL, neutrophils, monocyte and natural killer types of the lymphocyte in the blood as well as the macrophage is the in the tissue can be phagocytes and destroyed microbes. Fourth, cytokinin barrier. Virus infected cell secrete protein called interference which protected non-infected cell from further viral infection. Acquired immunity, on the other hand, is pathogen specific. It is the characteristics by the memory. This is means when our body encounter a pathogen for the first time, it is produced response called primary response. Each of the low intensity subsequent encounter with the same pathogen elastic a highly intensifying secondary or anamnestic response. This is ascribed to the fact that our body appears to have memory of the first encounter. Primary and secondary immune response are carried out with the help of the two facial type of lymphocyte present in our blood, B lymphocyte and T lymphocytes. B lymphocyte produce an army protein is response to the pathogen into our blood to fight with them. These protein are the called antibodies. The T cell themselves do not secrete antibodies but B cell produce them. Each antibody molecule has four peptide chains, two small called light chain and two longer called heavy chains. Hence, antibody represented H2, L2, different type of antibodies are produced in our body. IgA, IgM, IgE, IgG are some of them. A certain of the antibodies given in the figure. Because the antibody are found in the blood, the response is also called humoral immune response. This is one of the two type of our acquired immunity response antibodies mediate. The second type of is called the cell mediated immunity response, cell mediated immunity CMI. The T lymphocyte mediated CMI very often when some of the human organs like the heart, eyes, liver, kidney fail to the function satisfactory. Transplantations the only remedy to enable patient to live a normal life. Then a search begin to find suitable donor. Just any source of animal, another primate or any human being cannot made be since the graft will be rejected sooner or later. Tissues matching, blood group matching essential before undertaking any graft transplantation. Even after this patient has to take immune superstun all his her life. The body is able to differentiate self and non-self. Cell-mediated immune response is responsible for graft rejection. Cell-mediated immune response is responsible for graft rejections. Active and passive immunity. When a host is exposed to antigens, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes or other protein, antibody are produced in the host body. This type of immunity is called active immunity. Active immunity also is slow, takes time, give its full active response, effective response, injecting the microbes, delivering during the immunization or infection. Organism gains access into the body during the natural infection induced active immunity. When ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the body against foreign against is called passive immunity. Do you know why mother milk is considered very essential for the newborn infant? The elevation fluid colostrum secreted by the mother during the initial day of lactation obtain antibody IgA to protect the infant. The fetus also receive some of the antibody from their mother throughout the placenta during the pregnancy. These are the some example of the passive immunity. Vaccination and immunization. Vaccination and immunization. The principle of immunization or vaccination based on the property of memory of the immune system. In vaccination, preparation of antigenic proteins of pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogen vaccines are introduced into body. The antibodies produced in the body against these antigens will neutralizing the pathogenic against during the actual infection. The vaccination also generate memory B and T cell B and T cells. The pathogen quickly substance expose and the overwhelms the invader within the massive production of antibodies. If a person infected with some daily microbes to which is quick immune response is required as tetanus, we need to the direct injected performant antibodies or antitoxins. A preparation of containing antibodies to toxins, even in case of the snake bite, the injection with given to patient contain performant antibodies against snake venoms. This type of immunization is called the passive immunity. Recombinant DNA technology has allowed the production of antigenic polypeptide of pathogens in bacteria or yeast. Vaccines produced using the approach allow large-scale production of this, hence greater availability for immunization. Example: hepatitis B vaccine produced by from yeast. Allergies. When you have gone to new place and suddenly you started sneezing, wheezing for no explanations reasons, and when you went to away your symptoms spread. This happen you some of use of sensitive to particles environment above the mentioned reaction could be cause allergy to pollen, mite, which are different in different place. The exerted response of the immune system to certain antigens present in the environment is called allergy. This is substance to the which such immune response produce called allergens. The antibodies produced to these are Ig types. Common example of allergens are mite in dust, pollen, animal danders. Symptom of allergic reaction including sneezing, watery eyes, running nose, difficulty in breathing, allergy due to the release of chemical like histamine and serotonin. For the must cell for determining the cause of allergy, the patient is the exposed injected with a very small dose of possible allergens. And reaction study this use of the drug like antihistamine and adrenaline steroid quickly reduce symptom of allergy. Somehow modern days lifestyle has result in the lowering of immunity and more sensitivity to allergens. More and more children in metro cities of India suffer from allergens and asthma. A sensitivity of environment, this could be because of the protected environment provide early life. Autoimmunity, memory based acquired immunity involved in a higher vertebrata based on the ability to differentiate foreign organism, example pathogen, from self cell. While still do not understand the basis of this, two corollaries of this ability have to be understood. One, higher vertebrata can distinguish foreign molecule as well as the foreign organisms. Most of the experimental Immunology deals with the effect to the sometime due to the genetic and other non-regions body attack self. This is the result in the damage of the body's called autoimmunity. This is like rheumatic arthritis, which is affect any many peoples in occur society autoimmune disease. Immune system in the body. Immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells, and soluble molecule like antibodies. As you have read, immune system is acquired in the sense that recognizes foreign antigens, responds to this, and remember them. Immune system also play an important role in the allergic reactions, autoimmune disease, and organ transplantation. Lymphoid organs. These are the organs where origin and or maturations and proliferation lymphocyte occur. The primary lymphoid organs, bone marrow, thymus, where immature lymphocyte differentiated into antigen sensitive lymphocyte. After maturation of the lymphocyte migrate secondary lymphocyte organs like spleen, lymph node, tonsil, pair of patches, small intestine, and appendix. This is secondary lymphocytes organ provide the site of interaction lymphocyte, which is antigen, which then proliferated become effector cell. Location of various lymphoid organs in the human body is shown in figure. The bone marrow is the main lymphoid organs where all the blood cell including lymphocytes produced. The thymus is lobate organs located near heart of beneath the breastbone. The thymus is a quite large at the time of birth but keep reducing in size with age and by time of puberty. Attenuate the reduced to very small size, but bone marrow and thymus provide micro environment for development of maturation T lymphocyte. Spleen is a large bean shaped organ. It mainly contains lymphocyte and phagocytes. It acts as filter of the blood, trapping bone microorganisms. Spleen also has large reservoir erythrocytes. The lymph node are small, solid structure located at a different point along the lymphatic system. Lymph nodes serve to trap microorganisms or other antigens which is happen to get into the lymph and tissue fluid. Antigen trapped in the lymph node are responsible for activation of lymphocyte present there cause the immune response. There is a lymphoid tissue also located within the lining of the major tract, respiratory and digestive and urogenital tract, called mucosa and associated lymphocyte tissues malt. It is contain 50% of lymphoid tissues in human. AIDS. The world AIDS the world AIDS standard acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This means deficiency of immune system acquired during the lifetime of the individual indicated that the not conjunctional disease syndromes means group of symptom. AIDS was first reported 1981 and the last 25 years or has spread all over the world killing more 25 million of persons. AIDS is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus HIV, a member of group virus called retrovirus, which is have enveloped enclosing RNA genomes. Transmission HIV infections genetically generally occur by the sexual contact with infected person, by the transmission of contaminated blood and blood products, by the sharing of injected needles, and in case of the intravenous drug abuse from injected mother's child through placenta. So people who are high risk getting the infection, including individuals who have multiple sexual partners, drug addicted who take drug intravenously, individuals who are require repeated blood transfusion, and children born to HIV infected mothers. Do you know when do people need repeated blood transfusion? Find out and make list of such a condition. It is important to note that HIV in adults is not spread by the touch or physical contact. It is the spread only the through the body fluid. It is the hence imperative for physically and physiological well-being that HIV AIDS infected person are the not isolated from family and society. There is always time lag between infection and appearance of AIDS symptom. This period may be vary from the month to the many years, usually 10 to 5 to 10 years. After getting into body of person, the virus enter into microphage where RNA genome of the virus replicated from the viral DNA with the help of the enzyme reverse transcripted. This is viral DNA get incorporated into host cell DNA and direct the injected cell to produce virus particle. The macrophage continue to produce virus, and this is where actors like HIV factory stimulously HIV enter into T helpers T lymphocyte TH replicated and produce progeny virus. The progeny virus replicated blood attack other helper T lymphocyte. This is replicated leading to the progressive decreases the number of T lymphocyte in the body. Infected person during this period, the person suffer from the both fevers, diarrhea, weight loss due to the decreased number of helper T lymphocyte. The person starts suffering from the infections could have been otherwise overcome, such as those due to the bacteria, especially microbacterium, virus, fungi, even parasite like toxoplasma. The patient become immunodefensive that she unable protect himself herself against this infection. A widely used diagnostic test ADAS enzyme linkage immunosorbent easy ELISA. The treatment of ADAS antiretroviral drug is only partially effective. They can only prolong life of the patient but cannot prevent death, which is the inevitable. Prevention of AIDS. AIDS has no cure. Prevention is the best option. Moreover, HIV infection more often spread due to the consecutive behavior patterns and is not sometimes happen inventarily like pneumonia or typhoid. Of course, infection in blood transfusion patient, newborn from mothers act many take place due to the poor monitoring. The only excess may be ignored and has been rightly said. Don't diet ignorance. In our country, the National AIDS Control Organization NACO and other non-government organization NGOs are doing lost due to the educated people about AIDS. WHO has started number of programs to prevent the spreading of HIV injected, making blood from blood bank safe from the HIV, ensure the use of only disposable needles and syringe in public and private hospitals and clinics, free distribution of condoms and controlling drug abuse, advocating safe sex and promoting the regular check-up for HIV susceptible population are some such a step take up. Infection which HIV having adults is sometimes that should not be hidden. Since then, infection may be spread to be many more people. HIV infected people need help in sympathy instead of being sonnet of society. Unless society recognizes it as problem to do dealt with the collective manner, the chance of wider spread of the disease increases manifold. It is mainly can only the tackled by the society and medical planetary action together to prevent the spread of disease. Cancer. Cancer is the most dreaded disease of human being. Is major cause of death all over globe. More than millions of Indians suffer from this disease. Cancer, large number of them die from annually. The mechanisms that underlies development of cancer, oncogenic transformation of cells. It is treatment and control have been some of the most instant areas of the research in biology and medicines. In our body, cell growth and differentiation is highly controlled and regulated in cancer cell. This there is a breakdown of this regulatory mechanism. Normal cells show property called content inhibition by the virtue of this contact with other cell enabling their uncontrolled growth. Cancer cell appear to have lost this property. As result, disease cancerous cells just continue to divide, giving rise to be mass of cell called tumors. Tumors are of two types, beginning and malignant tumors. Beginning tumor normally remain confined their original location and do not spread to other parts of the body, cause little damage. Malignant tumors, on the other hand, mass of the proliferating cell called neoplastic or tumors cell. This is cell grow very rapidly, involving damaging the surrounding normal tissue as the cell actively divide and grow. They also start the normal cell by the competing for vital nutrients. Cell slugard from such as tumors reach distant site of through the blood and where they get locate in the body. They start new tumor. The property of called metastatics in the most ferret property malignant tumors. Cause of cancer. Transformation of normal cell into cancerous cell, neoplastic cell may be introduced by the physical, chemical, or biological agents. These agents are carcinogenic, carcinogenic, ionization radiation like X-ray, gamma rays, non-ionizing radiation like ultraviolet, DNA damage, leading to neoplastic transformation. Chemical carcinogenic represented tobacco, smoke has been identified. Major cause of lung cancer, cancer causing virus called oncogenic virus, have genes called viral oncogenes. Furthermore, several genes called cellular oncogenes, co-oncogenes, pro-oncogenes have been identified in normal cell which is when activated under certain conditions could lead to the oncogenic transformations of the cell. Cancer detection and diagnosis. Early detection of cancer is essential as it is allow the disease to be treated successfully. In many cases, cancer detection is based by histopathological study of this tissue and blood and bone marrow. Test for the increased cell count in the case of the leukemias. Biopsy of this suspected tissue cut into the main section is standard examined under the microscope. Histopathological studies by the pathologist technique like radiography, use of X-ray, CT compound, tomography and MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, very useful to detect cancer, internal organs, compound tomography, use of X-ray to generate three-dimensional image of this internal of the object, MRI. MRI used strong magnetic field and non-ionizing radiation to accurately detect pathology and physiological change in the living tissues. Antibodies against cancer specific antigens are also used for detection of certain cancer. Technique for molecular biology can apply to detect genes in individuals which inherited suspectly to certain cancer. Identification of such as genes which predispose an individual to certain cancer may be very helpful in prevention of cancer. Such as individual may be advised to avoid exposure to particular carcinogens to which they are susceptible. Example, tobacco, smoke in case of the lung cancer. Treatment of cancer. Approach for treatment of cancer: surgery, radiation therapy, immunotherapy. In radiotherapy, tumor cell irritate lengthily, taking proper care of the normal tissue surrounding the tumor mass. Several chemotherapeutic drugs and usage kills cancerous cells. Some of these are specific for particular tumors. Majority of the drug have side effects like their loss of anemia. Most of cancer are treated by the combination of surgery, radiotherapy, and chemotherapy. Tumor cells have been known to be avoid detection and the destruction by the immune system. Therefore, the patients are given substance called the biological response modified such alpha interference. Biological response of modified such as alpha interference, which is activated their immune system, help destroying tumors. Drug and alcohol abuse. Survey and standards show the use of drug and alcohol has been on the rise, especially among the youth. This is really cause of the concern as it is could be result in many harmful effects. Proper education guidance will enable youth separate themselves again. These are dangerous behavior patterns. Follow a healthy lifestyle. The drug which is commonly abused or opioid, cannabinoid, coca alkaloid. Majority of these obtained from flowering plants. Some of the obtained from fungi. Opioids. Opioids are the drug which is bind to specific opioid receptor present in the our central nervous system and gastrointestinal tract. Heroin, commonly called smack, chemically diacetylmorphines, which is white, odorless, bitter crystalline compound. This is obtained by the acetylo of morphines, which is extract from the latex. Papaya plant, Paper somniferums, generally taken by the snorting and injection. Heroin is a disparate and shown in and down body function. Cannabinoids. Cannabinoids group of chemical which is interacted with the cannabinoid receptor present in the principally in the brain. Naturally, cannabinoids are obtained from the inflorescences of the plant cannabinoid sativa. The flower top, leaves, and the racing cannabinoid plant are used various combinations. Produce marijuana, hyacinth, chara, ganja, generally taken by the inhalations and ingestions. These are known as the effect of cardiovascular system of our body. Coca alkaloid or cocaine is obtained from the coca plant Erythroxylum coca, native South America. It is interfered with the transport of the neurotransmitters dopamine. Cocaine, commonly called coca or cracks, is usually stated. Has the potent stimulating action on the central nervous system, producing a sense of euphoria and increases energy. Excessive doses of the cocaine cause hallucinations, other well known as the plant which is the hallucination properties Atropa belladonna and Dhatura. This is day. Cannabinoid are also being caused the some of the certain sport persons. Drug like beributris, amphetamines, benzodiazepines, and other similar drugs that are the normally used as medicines to help patients cope with the mental illness like depression and insomnia are often. Morphine is very effective sedative and painkiller and is very useful in patients who have undergo surgery. Several plants, fruit and seeds having hallucination property have been used for the hundred of years in the folk medicines. Regular Kerogenes are result rituals all over the globe when these are taken propose other than medicinal use of the enormous frequency the impairs of the physical and physiological function. It is the constitute the drug abuse. Smoking also paves way to hard drug and tobacco has been used the human being for the more 400 years. It is smoked, chewed or certain tobacco contain the large number of chemical substances like including nicotine and alkaloid. Nicotine stimulated adrenal glands to releases adrenaline noradrenaline in blood circulation both the which is raised to blood pressure increase the heart rate. Smoking is associated increases incident of cancer of drug urinary bladder throat bronchi emphysema coronary heart disease gastric ulcer. Tobacco chewing is associated with increased risk of the cancer or oral cavity. Smoking increases carbon monoxide CO content blood and reduce the concentration of the hemobound oxygen. This is cause oxygen deficiency in the in the body. When one buy packet of the cigarette cannot miss statutory warning that is present on the packing which is warm against smoking and say how it is injuries to health as smoking is very prevalent in the society both among the young and old. Knowing the dangers of smoking and chewing tobacco and its addictive nature, the youth and old need to the avoid this habit and addicted requires counseling and medical help to get rid of habits. Adolescent and drug alcohol abuse. Adolescent mean both the period of the process during the child which is child become mature and from his the attitude and belief for the effective participation in the society. This period between 12 to 18 years of the age many of the bout of the adolescence period in other word adolescence is the bright linking childhood and adulthood. Adolescence is accompanied by the several biological and behavioral change. Adolescence thus is the very vulnerable phase mental and physiological and development of individuals. Curiosity, need for the advanced natures and excitement, experimentations constitute the common cause which is motivity yogurt and toward drug and alcohol use. A child natural curiosity motivated him and her to experiment. This is complemented further by the effect that might be prevented as benefit of alcohol or drug use. Thus the first use of the drug and alcohol may be out of the curiosity experimentation but later the child start using the spec facing problem on the of the late state from pressure to the excels and academic examinations has played significant role in the present the young world to try alcohol and drug. This is preparations participations among youth, and is it school progressive to smoke use of drug or alcohol is also in a way major cause of the youth start the habit. The televisions, movie, newspaper, internet also help in promote this protections. Other factors that have been seen to the associated with the drug and alcohol abuse among the adolescents and are unsuitable or unsupportive family structure and peer pressures, addiction and dependency. Because of this privacy benefit, drug and frequently used repeatedly, the most important thing this which is one of the fail to realize in the inherent addictive nature of alcohol and drug addiction is the physiological attachment and certain effects such as euphoria, temporary feeling of well-being associated with the drug and alcohol. These are the drive people to take them even then these are not needed to or even when their use of the become self-destructive with the respected use of drug and tolerant level of this receptor present in our body increases. Consequently, the receptor respond only to higher doses of drug and alcohol, leading to the greater intake and addiction. However, it is should be the clearly borne in mind that use of the this drug even once can be for runner and addiction. Thus, the addictive potential of drug and alcohol pull the user into the vicious tribe leading to their regular use of abuse from which she may not be able to get out. In this absence of any guidance or counseling, the person gets addicted and become depends on their use. Depends is the tendency of Dependency is the tendency of the body managed characteristics and unsilent withdrawal syndrome. A regular doses of the drug and alcohol activity response in a regular doses of drug and alcohol ability disconnected disease characteristic by anxiety, sickness, nausea and sweating, which is maybe the relations even use of the resume against in some cases withdrawal syndrome can be the same and even life treating the person may need medical supervisions. Dependency led to the patient ignore all the society normal in order to get sufficient fund and status his her need. This is result in many social adjustment problems. Effect of drug and alcohol abuse. The mediated adverse effect of the drug and alcohol abuse manifested in the form of the risk and behavior vandalisms and violences. Excessive doses of drug may be led to the coma and death due to respiratory failures, heart failure of certain hemorrhage. A combination of drug or their intake along with the alcohol generally result in the overdosing, even death. Most of the common warning sign of drug and alcohol abuse among the youth, including drop in academic profession, unclean abuse from the school and colleges, lack interest and personal hygiene, withdrawal, isolation, depression, fatigue, aggressive and rebellious behavior, deteriorating relationship with family, loss of the interesting habits, change in the sleeping, eating habit, influences in weight and appetites. There may even be some far-reaching implication of drug and alcohol abuse if an abuser is unable to get money while drug alcohol he sees may turn stating this adverse effect are just not restricted to the person who is using the drug or alcohol at time. A drug alcohol addicted become the cause of mental and financial distress to this his her family and friends. Those take drug adversely direct injection into the venous using the needle and syringe are much money likely to the acquire serious infection like AIDS, hepatitis B. The various which responsible for disease are the transferred from the one person to another by the sharing of infected needle sharings. Both AIDS and hepatitis B infection, a chronic infection, ultimately fatal. Both the can be transmitted through the sexual contact and infected blood. Use of the alcohol during the adolescence may be also have long-term effect. It could be led to the heavy drinking in the adulthood, and the chronic use of the drug and alcohol damage your nervous system and liver cirrhosis. This use of the drug and alcohol during the pregnancy is known as the adversely affected fetus. And the misuse of the drug is what is certain suppose do not enhance their performance. This misuse of the narcotic analysis, anabolic steroid, and diabetes, certain hormones in sport to increase the muscle strength and the bulk of the promote aggressiveness and result increasing athletics performance. This is side effect of this use of antibiotic steroid in female, including the musculation, feather like males, increases aggressiveness, mood of swing, depression, abnormal menstrual cycle, excessive hair loss, growth phase of the body, enlargement of the clitoris, depending of the voice in males, including angst, increases aggressiveness, mode of swings, and depression, reduction of size, restless, decreasing the sperm productions. These are effect many prominent warned use of the adolescent male or female cells, facial and body against premature closure of the growth centers of this long bone may be result in the sustained growth. Prevention and control. As old age of the prevention better is than hold here. Also like smoking, alcohol more likely to be taken in young ones and more during the adolescence. Hence, it is best to identify the situation that may push any adolescents toward the use of the drug or alcohol and to take remedial measures as well in the time. In this regard, the parents and the teachers have special responsibility. Parent, parenting that combined with the high levels of the nutrients and constant discipline has been associated with the lowered risk of the substance alcohol and drug tobacco abuse.